The French have certainly looked pretty good in the pre-World Cup races. Mike, Russia always tend to raise their game on Olympic seasons. And, well, Germany have not shown us their best for a few seasons, but it will come, the time will come. Maybe inspired by Katarina Hennig's performance up in the north of Finland to do something here today. Well, I think this is about the calmest we've ever known it in Oestersund for the opening World Cup of the year. It wasn't too bad at the World Championships here, but generally the end of November, beginning of December, the winds are pretty brutal coming off the lake.
Yes, you can see the flags. It does seem to be picking up now, though. It's been reasonably calm, but look to the right of our screen, mid-centre. There is a breeze which will move the fall of the shot, more so in the accuracy that you need in the prone shooting, golf ball size target in prone shooting. Another name, a couple of names, Patrick, thinking this season, and when you have no pressure and no expectations, it helps. And I think Philip Fjeld Andersen, for me, we saw how well he was performing last season, and not on the World Cup much at all. So he could surprise us this season. And of course, Sivert Guttorm Batten, bib number 44, made it into the Norwegian team as well.
So the men's 20 due off in just a few minutes' time. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with all the action from Sweden.
Well, some colourful scenes in the crowds for the 116 athletes, all having now completed their zeroing, the centering of your rifle for the light, the wind. Yes, the weather changes, but for right now and these conditions, they are all centered and in a good place. Johannes Tingesbø. It was right down to the line last year for him. He needs a good start to the race. Fionn Maillet. Well, he won the last one here and had a fabulous season. And Ponsiloma, the sprint champion from the World Championships. Unexpected for many. He felt good about it for many, many months leading into it. Samuelsson, we saw what he did at the last Olympics when he was 20. He's now 4 years wiser. So maybe the medal should be on him at the Olympics. Simon Eder, he had the best shooting score last season. He calmed the shooting speed down and he hit a lot more targets. And Jacques Lam, pursuit world champion. Can never write him off. And Tarje Bo, if you want a reliable team player, he's your man. And Sturla Holm Leigrid surprised everybody in this race last year, and then went on to push Johannes Tingesbø right down to the very final race for the title. Loginov, well, he lost his way in places last season, but I've heard his form is really good. The shooting has been comfortable, so, well, maybe we can't write Loginov off for the season. Darkness has descended. It's 5 to 3 local time. We are a long way up in Sweden. And these nights, they draw in very, very early. There's an indication. Those 5-gram flags, they're on a fishing hook swivel, so there's no resistance there. So it gives the athletes, the biathletes, a good idea of how the wind is going to affect the movement of their shot through the air, and they can aim off accordingly.
So the Hardy fans have stuck around for this one, 116 starters. So it takes just under a couple of hours to, or just under the hour to get them all underway on the tracks, and then 20 kilometers to cover each. When you first started, Mike, what was the winning time of a 20K?
Interesting. It was, yeah, 51 minutes. And it's a lot less now.
Well, there you see the profile of the course. Slightly harder loop for the men, not just the extra kilometre that they do each time round.
Five times around that track, you really have to pace it. -9, so it's a lot of friction, isn't there, off the snow at these temperatures, although -6 the snow temperature, that was the air temperature. So all in all, it's a pretty tough afternoon for the biathletes.
Yeah, I definitely got the feeling that the pace was slightly quicker at the end of the women's race. But as the temperature drops below -10, you'd expect it to get slower again. So maybe an early start is good. And certainly the world #1 has decided he wanted to go early. He went for group #1. Johannes Tingesbø has drawn bib #2. Going early didn't help Tyrrell Eckhoff, Mike.
It didn't. She was bib #3. I think Johannes Tingesbø would have preferred to be down in 38th, 37th. That's the end of Group 1.
Lukas Hoffer back for another season. Wonder if this will be his last. Samuelsson just starting after him. Certainly looks in good form, skiing well. A good shooting performance from Samuelsson. They need it. Leigrid goes 34. So close to taking the overall title last year. Just 13 points in it. And it all really came down to the last couple of races. In the last race, Johannes Tingis held on to a 3rd. Leigrid dropped down to 8th position. And that, of course, creates a difference of 14 points. That was the race that decided the title. Vindish is in good form, Mike, for Italy. They're quite excited. Good to see him back.
Yes, such an experienced member of the team, and well, I'd heard murmurs that he might think of hanging up his rifle and his skis at the end of the season. But there's a good team growing around him. Him and, of course, Lukas Hoffer, they now can really contend in relays.
Yeah, that's become their main aim, I think, for this winter season, to medal at the Olympics in the relay. That's their best chance, although Vindish has done well here in the past in World Championships, done exceptionally well. Well, it's very, very quiet in the stadium at the moment. And with just a couple of minutes to go before the start, I expect the crowd to emerge from the shelter that they've taken in between races. At -7, 8, 9, you can't blame them.
You definitely can't. They are dedicated to have been out here earlier for the women's race. And well, it certainly is going to keep the race so sharp and exciting. The first 50 minutes with Johannes Tingesbø wearing bib #2.
So it's going to be a couple of hugely experienced athletes who get the race underway. Vladimir Iliev, 34-year-old from Bulgaria, used to be a pretty reliable shot. Let his standard slip a bit last year, down to 73% in the prone. He'll have to improve on that if he wants to make a top 30 today. Well, there's the main man, and of the 10 former stars they asked, every single one had him on the top of the leaderboard. at the end of the season after the pressure he was under last year. I think we may find that it's not that easy. The French have Jacquelin and Fillon-Maillet. Leigrid, of course, in the Norwegian team. Samuelsson, I've mentioned, in the Swedish team. All have a chance of taking the overall if they can produce consistent results. Or maybe I should say consistently good results throughout the year. Well, here he is. Johannes Tingis, second in this race last year in Kontiolahti, missing one shot on the very first shoot. He would have won it otherwise, but it was Leigrid who came through and deservedly won the title in the north of Finland. Johannes Tingis did come through to win the second race of the year.
When you look at his shooting statistics last season, Patrick, his stand dropped down. He wasn't as comfortable on his rifle. He said he would put that right in the summer months. I hope he has. And he had that issue last year of changing the rifle before the World Championships. It didn't work out. Hopefully he's settled now. So Quentin Fillon-Maillet just working his way to the line. Bocharnikov from Minsk, and the wonderful facilities there in Rawicki. The whole stadium there has been revamped. He's 33-year-old now. He shoots very well, just needs some improved ski speed, and we can make a judgment on that issue by the end of this race. Christian Gau managing the perfect 20 out of 20 in this race last year. It was up in Finland. Well, if he's done it once, he can certainly do it again. And I think he might make a top 6, a top 7, if he can achieve that same shooting score today. And you certainly need to pace this one. 20 kilometers, 5 times around a brutal 4-kilometer track, as Ponsiluoma has a little wave to the camera. And Fillon-Maillet just about to get underway. Fillon-Maillet, one of the few athletes whose stand shooting is a lot better than his prone. 83% prone shooting last season, and 89, a very good score of 89% hits in his stand. Great season last year. Can he do better again?
Yeah, he was only 100 points or so off the winners, so that's a couple of results. Roman Rees, 28-year-old from Oestersund, and another man who's pretty handy in the prone position. He's up around the 90% mark. Who do you think the next big star for Germany is, Mike?
We've got, it's not the strongest time, and when you look at German biathlon history, it's not the strongest period. We do have, well, Philip Horn blows hot and cold, but he's been in the team for some time. And I think that Bib 81, Strelo, is the big hope for the future of German biathlon. Love to see him place up in the top 10 today.
Ponsiluoma, one of the big hopes for the Swedish team today, along with Samuelsson. He's a big, powerful man. Had a bit of success, got a top 6 in the pursuit up here last year at the end of the season. The last World Cup held up here after the changes that were made. Clement Bauer, another long-term campaigner, 35-year-old. And Bauer, who produces the odd flash of brilliance. Never been on the podium in a World Cup, but he's been close.
And he was so close to the podium at his second Olympics, just in 4th place, just off the podium. He missed one target then, and his ski speed is still good, but he at 76 and 65% hit rate, he needs to improve his shooting.
Philip Norath, who is based in Ruhpolding. Employed by German police. And Paul Schomer for USA. What do you think he was praying for, Mike? 20 out of 20?
The best outcomes. Do my best. Put the procedures right. And you can only do your best out there. You know, you can only just relax back there and think, okay, I've got to push hard, and then I've got to steady myself. It's a long journey. And there's a lot of focusing on different aspects as you journey over 20 kilometers, and many distractions along the way as well.
Benny Dole. Slightly surprised to see he's only had one win in his career, and that was the Sprint World Cup. No, I'm looking at the wrong. He's had two, of course, because he had the World Championships in Hogfilsen, where he won the sprint as well. He won the sprint in Annecy, Le Grand Bonnat, and he won the World Championship sprint. As for Granichev, he has had just one win, and that was in Oslo, back in all the way back in 2012. Oh, he could do with a good result here.
Oh, he certainly could. His season was okay last year, shooting quite well. His prone is always good and fast, and so often for Granichev, stand shooting lets him down.
So Johannes Tingis, who the Norwegians say is nothing special when it comes to all the summer training, but as soon as he puts the skis on, he's away, and just those few percentage points better than everyone else. And that can only come down to efficiency, Mike.
It's very strange. They keep saying that, and it is so true on the roller skis. Well, roller skis don't allow you the freedom and the acute balance that you need on skis. Johannes has just got a lovely transfer of weight and a great flow of energy. And 15 seconds off
wow.
Iliev already. Remember when I first saw Johannes Tingis Bo, he left the range, European Youth Olympic Festival, a massive wall climb past the range, and he just made it look so easy. It was incredible, and he's much better than that now.
He certainly is. Lukas Hofer still times his own run, even though they've got timing devices that cost hundreds of thousands. But I guess that, Mike, is to monitor the pulse rate more than anything else.
It is. Break it down later, analyze it.
Is this Sweden's big hope? Well, I think it is. He's got some support here today. He's still only 24, seems to be around for ages. He was up in the top 6 of the World Cup standings last year. Had a pretty good start to the season. He, of course, won the 4th race of the year, which was the pursuit in Kontiolahti on the second weekend. Yeah, he's got a lot of potential.
Yes, he certainly has. Samuelsson, he always gives here. He fights well. You need a fighter. And to be successful, you have to be able to push hard out there, and Samuelsson is one of those athletes. Just the race, the warm-up race, if you like, in Shushan, there wasn't much between the French team and the Norwegian team. But now they have their World Cup bibs on. Things change a little. .3. Well, I guess you tell him he's in second place, not that he's 7.3 behind already. But in the individual, so much of it comes down to the shooting. Remember, it's still a minute's penalty for a missed target. And over the years, the time that the race takes has come down, but the penalty hasn't. So the penalty is worth a higher percentage of the overall performance. Oh, Johannes Tingesbo's coming in. He's some 23.5 seconds ahead of Iliev, so he'll be alongside. There he is.
Well, that was a pretty rapid shoot from Iliev, but a scrappy one as well.
Raised rear sights this time around, just take the tension away from the neck. A better view in stand shooting as well. And it hasn't worked.
Well, that's exactly what he did in this race last year. Missed one on the first shoot. He cleared the remaining 15 to end up in second place. He's a long way inside Iliev, but that is pretty irrelevant. With all the big names still to come, Johannes Tinges has not had the perfect start that he would have wanted. And actually, Mike, that would have put a lot of pressure on so many people had he cleared 5.
Oh, he would have been really hoping to clear those 5, as you say, add a little bit of pressure, because he knows full well all those who haven't yet started, and that's the majority, will be aware that he missed one.
Bo, Fiolmeye, Bakarnikov, Iliev, the fastest 4 at the 3.6 intermediate. Big yawn. Sometimes the race nerves put you into that sort of a state. And Emilien Jacquelin, who was 7th in the World Cup standings last year, just ahead of Lukas Hofer. Brilliant sprinter, great tactician, isn't he?
He really is, and everything, the image you get there is super strength throughout him, and when he wants it, he chases it. He can fight well. What about Fiolmeye? Last year he had a 4th in this race, the first race of the season, 3rd in Antholz in this race, missing 2, and then 4th at the World Championships. He's always there or thereabouts.
Yeah, 4th overall in the individual World Cup standings. Leigrid, of course, winning it with 2 wins and a 2nd.
That shot was quite, yeah, low right.
Yeah, low right. Oof.
What a start. Disappointing. He'll be wondering. He'll get the information on where those shots came. Often a wind coming straight into the barrel. It can drop the fall of the shots down. The bullet spins to the right, so it's pressed down by the wind.
That's better from Roman Rees, and he will take the lead away from Strecki. Ponsaloma for Sweden. Now he's got to try and ignore the crowd, but already they start to get to him. 2 misses. Oh, that's so disappointing.
Well, Samuelsson won't know anything about that shooting performance. And I think the wind, you can see the flag there just at the side there as Tarjei Bo starts his race. And the wind has changed. Ponsaloma on his skis, running much the same time into the range, 3.3 seconds slower than Johannes Tingesbo.
So Germany leading with Rees at the moment. Norath matching his teammate for speed on the tracks. All he's got to do now is hit 5.
Well, Mark Kirchner disappointed early on in the race. He does have Roman Rees at the top at the moment after the first shoot.
Yeah, from potential first all the way down a fifth with that one missed target. Benny Doll gets good cheer as he comes in.
Great to hear the spectators back again, although they're never the loudest here in Oestersund. They don't release themselves to cheer too much. I think the wind, yeah, he just clicked his sights 2 clicks, so that moves the fall of the shots. Another click, that's now 6-7 millimeters to the left, adjusting his sights into the wind. Well, didn't pay off.
Well, that's the third big name to miss the last shot. Johannes Tingesbø amongst them. Benny Doll. Not too many clear shoots. 3 women shooting clear this morning. And of course, Davidova, one of them.
Yes, that's only 3 out of 12, 13 so far, 12 so far. But I think Garanashev will give us the 4th clear. Oh, it didn't work out. Very surprised.
Lagerit on his way. Can he continue the form he showed last year? It's a big, big question. He really hit the scene like Tarja Bo did, Mike, back in 2011 when he won it.
Yes, and there could be so much pressure well, as Tarja Bo felt, carrying that into the next season afterwards to try and replicate it was difficult, and he was unable to do it again.
So far, so good for Krishma. He makes it 5. That's a nice shoot. He's not going to match Roman Rees, but he's not far off the pace and should be going into 2nd place overall, ahead of Strecki from the Czech Republic.
Kretschmar, he controlled the pressure well at home at the Summer World Championships, roller ski and shooting, to take the titles there.
So Samuelsson and Hoffa side by side. Samuelsson skiing fast. Oh. And he's paid a price. Hoffa with a miss as well. No, that's not the way to start. Same has happened to Ponsalomo. And Sweden, who shot badly this morning in the women's race, have started poorly again this afternoon. That's really disappointing. And I dare say that will affect the mood in the stadium tomorrow.
I'm so surprised. This is the range in which they train on so much throughout the summer. It's the base of excellence, but not working out for the Swedes yet.
Yeah, look at that. 5 out of 10 have gone clear so far. We only had 10 through?
17.
17, yeah.
And what, 1, 2, 6 have missed 1, and then we got a further 6, sorry, who've missed 2 out of 5. Strange days.
Something you might like to comment on, Mike. Samuelsson, quicker than Johannes Tingesbø into the range for the first shoot by 7.6 seconds.
That's a huge margin, isn't it? Wow, he's inspired. Let's put it this way, he is very much inspired. I think Johannes Tinges was looking very comfortable, but even though he looks comfortable, it makes others hurt. Leitner, another. So now 7 athletes who've missed 2. Rico Gross, well, he knew how to hit them, and that he's been trying to pass that down the line into his team. I think we'll see Leitner with his podiums after Christmas last year. I think we'll see Leitner coming stronger and potentially threatening and on podium 2-3 times this season, maybe more. But he needs to hit his targets. Yes, Overhoff. Yeah, Oberhof, he hit all 20, Felix Leitner, and finished second in the mass start just after Christmas.
Apparently Tariabo on pretty good form throughout the summer. Just wondering how many more seasons he has in those legs.
So there's the display of the fall of the shots. That's the information he wanted. The coach only shows him exactly where the shots missed in terms of the golf ball and the black which surrounds it.
Now, to get on the podium, surely needs to hit the next 15. Unless, of course, the wind picks up and everyone has problems. Well, that's more like the defending World Cup champion. And Johannes Tingesbo out front. He went past Vladimir Iliev a long, long time ago. But he'll still have company out there on the track. So I don't think psychologically that's going to affect him.
I liked what he did there. Yeah, he slowed that down to 30 seconds. Normally we'd see 26, 27. And I think those 4 seconds that just give you that little bit more safety blanket.
As we watch Jacquelin, Mike, for France, maybe you can tell me whether you feel that Johannes Tinges's performances at the World Championships here, where he had a couple of absolutely catastrophic meltdowns, whether they will affect him when he returns to this stadium.
I don't think so. They were really unexpected failures, if you like, in terms of the last shoot. Jacquelin missing one as well. But I think he's so strong mentally that he just puts all the negative, learns from it, and then throws it away. I think that's what you have to do as a biathlete. But
if he was that strong mentally, the meltdowns wouldn't have happened.
It's fascinating. But at a World Championships, to lead into a stadium, what, some 57 seconds ahead, and then meltdown, it happens. We see it happening in biathlon. That's what, for me, makes it so exciting.
So, Strecky out of the stadium, 38 seconds down. Just 4 athletes through that second shoot now, and no one so far has gone clear in the first 10 targets. Someone will at some stage, without a doubt, but we've only got 7 clear after the first shoot, which is slightly surprising. Now, we saw Emma Lunde put in a really good performance earlier on today. That's nice, very rhythmical indeed, and a good result. He was sort of feeding off the athlete next door to him. There's Tariabo just coming in for his shoot. Ries of Germany still leading after the first shoot. That's how to do it. First man to clear 10. Along with, of course, Christian Gau, who's just gone clear as well. So Germany and Canada will be heading the leaderboard at the moment. 5 out of 5 for Tariabo. That's a good start from him. ...12 wins in his career. 2011, of course, the year that he won the overall World Cup. My goodness, he had to fight for that as he tired towards the end of the season. Jesper Nellin goes through 2.8. That's a pretty solid start. Try and give you a split at 3.6. At the moment, Samuelsson, Jacquelin and Johannes Tingesbo, the fastest 3 at 3.6. So Emilien Jacquelin obviously starting hard.
Certainly most of the biathletes, and I think it's very sensible, just slowing the pace of shooting down. It's not a ski race out there, it's about combining, and missing 3 is awful. And you have to try and build the chance to sort that out, to make that score a little better, and increasing your time on the range certainly helps that.
It's interesting to look at some stats, Mike, to look at the percentage of targets hit in the sprint and the percentage of targets hit in the stand, in the individual. Because if you are taking that much more time, you would expect the percentages to be much higher in the individual than they are in the sprint races.
You certainly would. It's marginal in the sprint. You can take risk, especially if your name's Johannes Tingesboer, the fastest skiers. You can take a little risk, and you do shoot in, I suppose the average is around 27 seconds.
Yeah, but I'm talking in terms of results, as in hit targets and missed targets. I don't think there's a significant difference between the two races.
I don't think there will be. I think you'll find they're similar, but you do buy yourself, just as the fatigue grows in your body, you buy yourself a little bit more recovery. And you really need that when you're getting up to 40 minutes, 42 minutes racing into the last shoot. Here's Lygrid.
Can he do what he did last year? Well, he started the same, 5 out of 5. He cleared all 20 last year to win the first race of the season. And Lygrid, who is the individual champion, as I mentioned, a first, a second and a first. It was an unbelievable standard that he set himself. And I think many were surprised to see him win the first race, Mike, but I think more people were surprised that he managed to keep it going all the way through the year.
Yes, it was lovely to see that initial surprise. And of course, Mazet that morning said he didn't have a great zero. He said, don't worry about it, you're not likely to win, just it's fine, race on. And he won the race, and thought maybe it was just a one-off. He proved us all wrong.
Nellin's getting the crowd excited. He gets 5, and pretty sharp shooting as well from Nellin. Kretschmar is away as we watch Samuelsson on shoot number 2. Got a lot of making up to do after those 2 misses early on. That's better. That is better. What was happening on that first prone shoot?
You just feel that Samuelsson was now into his race. He was forgetting the home pressure, forgetting about World Cups, and just back to business. Keep it to routine. Certainly felt that way second time in. So the standings after the first shoot. Jesper Nellin has just taken the lead for Sweden. Tarja Bo in second, 4.7 behind. Lygrid in third, 9.8. And then the best of the Germans, Roman Rees, who started early, number 4, still lying in 4th place as we watch Lukas Hoffer. Still only 2 people clear. And Singerly, he won't be overly happy. He knows that Lukas needs to, say, miss 1 for a podium. He's missed 2 already. He always keeps the left elbow, of course, left-handed shot. The left elbow is very high. There's a lot of muscle there, but it locks him in. And so often he gets them, but not today.
Not today. And the wind just picking up a little bit from right to left. Certainly significantly stronger than when we saw them at the end of their zero. Was predicted to be around 6 to 7 kilometers per hour. But wind is never that consistent. It's always gusty, and especially when you've got some big buildings around.
So those flags are 5 meters out from the firing point, and then the next one, the next flags are 20 meters back from the target. And you can read if the wind, and it does generally spiral in this stadium.
Well, I don't think we've mentioned Johannes Dahle yet, Mike. An impressive 5th in the World Cup standings last year.
Very impressive, and he went out like a rocket from the start gates today. Just trying to see his time into the range.
Took a few races to get into form last year, but when we went to Oestersund, he was the best of all. Got his first and only World Cup win there in the sprint event, and that's a good start. So Lightgood and Dahle, the youngsters in the Norwegian team, have gone clear. What about Alexander Loganov, veteran for the Russians? You'd expect him to get 5. He does get 5.
Little slip as he got up there, and he always leans that rifle away from his body, and but he does that every time, and it seems to work well.
Now, Johannes Tingis. It was number 5 that missed last time in the prone. Little shuffle of the elbow. Oh.
How frustrating is that? You make a move, you change a little of your routine, and it breaks that flow. Cost him dearly. That's going to be an interesting ski battle now, with Jacquelin just going to tuck in behind him. He may decide to pass Johannes Tingis. He's got fresher legs.
Yeah, Jacquelin with a quick ski time early on. Started number 24.
Back in 35 seconds off the fastest time into the range. Fastest time still Samuelson. Nice 10 out of 10 from Guzic. And the time is good. The ski speed is very good. That's a positive start to his season. Seems so long ago since Tomasz Sikora was winning races for Poland and the world champion in this event. I'll go for 1995.
I think you might be right.
Really?
What did he do? 21 seasons before he finally hung the skis up?
He did indeed.
Now, Phil Maillet. A chance for the French to close in on the leaders, but 2 misses early on in the prone. Won't have filled in with confidence. That's much better. Much, much better.
And you know, I think wouldn't be surprised if Phil Maillet gets the next 5 as well. And just that wobble, the nerves at the start of the race, possibly to miss 2.
Looking good. Oh, he throws number 5 wide. There was his opportunity to take the lead, and he's got to miss that one. Now, Roman Rees, who's been solid throughout, not skiing the fastest, but up until now, shooting quite well. Christian Gau also missing on his 3rd shoot for Canada. So that's 2 of the men who were clear up until shoot number 3 who've gone and missed. No one with 15 out of 15 so far.
Didn't expect that from Jakob Fak. Normally a master in terms of prone shooting. 93% hit rate in the whole of last season. He just let that one go. He thought he had it in his sights. It wasn't.
So first shoot, and as you can see, all the leaders with the perfect score. Nellin leading for Sweden, skiing well, shooting well. Samuelsson, as we've seen, is skiing very, very quick for Sweden as well. So they're in a similar sort of shape to that which we saw in Kontiolahti last year, and then it faded by the time we went to Hochfilzen in Austria, which was week 3 of the season. I wonder whether they've used the same training program.
So Lachipov, different recocking mechanism there. That's the Ishmarsh weapon made in Russia at the Kalashnikov factory. That was fast. He took some time to build his position, but as soon as he had the stability, he released the shots very fast. So Benny Dahl missed one in this in the prone shooting first time in. He will have had some advice where the missed shot went, but the wind has slightly changed again, so they're just lifting the snow cover up from the rear sight. And he's missed again. So 1-1-1. At least there's a pattern there for Benny Dahl. And Leigrid, it just looks like as if we're watching a race from last season. Secure, safe, and fast, accurate shooting. Leigrid just having a little glance over at towards the scoreboard. I think you'll find that that's quite a pleasing view.
Absolutely, especially as Roman Rees has got a missed one in his third shoot. So advantage the Norwegian at the moment. So calm in these pressure situations. Extraordinary personality as we watch Jesper Nellin. Now Nellin up on Leigrid's time by a decent amount.
Slight slip of his left elbow there. He's had to adjust it. Oh, I thought he was in the real hitting flow there.
Oh, yeah, amazing. That's not the first individual to adjust his position and pay the price. Johannes Tingesbø did likewise in his last prone.
And when you're muscling or you're holding your left elbow, they're slippy suits. He broke that position. And it really destroyed that flow that he was in, that little trance, that sweet spot of hitting targets.
Well, there's absolutely no doubt that the Swedes are on good ski form, Mike, but one miss is too many. When you miss 4, like Samuelsson, you're lucky to finish in the top 20.
It's incredible. I still can't figure it out. He definitely had some snow crystals in his sight. He blew through the rear sight to clear them. And those little routines, annoying little situations, they certainly can put you off if you let them.
Hoffa definitely needs to tidy it up from now on in. I think it's probably fair to say he's not going to win, having missed 2 already. Still, no one has gone clear after 15. Roman Rees, the leader, on 31.54, as you can see. Well, that's better from Lukas, but he was nearly 3 minutes behind coming in. And he's cut that by over a minute. So 1:52 to the deficit into the top 7. Farabai.
Leitner, we just saw him heading out there. He got his 3 penalties early on, but moving back into 6th place from 18, having passed through chute 3.
Each 4-kilometre loop taking just about 10 minutes, including the shooting time.
Fascinating, 3 missed shots there, but fast. Loganov. Well, Johannes Dahle, his ski speed wasn't great coming in first time, 35 seconds down. I thought maybe he was going for the remain calm, don't exert yourself too much, slowly get into the race, but now he needs to pick up his pace, having missed 2 first time in standing.
Jacquelin just preparing on the range as we watch Christiansen for Norway. I think he must be the last of the Norwegians to get underway. That's a nice solid start from him, although he's given away some 15 seconds in the early stages. Now here's the, well, it was the pursuit world champion, Johannes Tingesbø, of course, the overall World Cup champion. Well, with 18 out of 20, a podium is still a possibility. There aren't many people who can say that, but the way that Leigrid is going, I think he'll be very, very pressed to win this one.
Yes, I agree. Leigrid looks to be exactly where he was at this stage last year. I feel that Johannes Tingesbø, his ski speed, it's not quite where we've seen it in the past. We'll have to wait and see, but surprised he wasn't punching it up there.
Yeah, Phil Maillet actually is a significant amount ahead of Johannes Tingesbø, Mike. They've hit the same score after 3 shoots, and the Frenchman some 17.7 clear of Johannes Tingesbø, as we see Bakken just clear his second 5, and that's going to rocket him up the order. Is he going to go into the top 4? I think he may just go ahead of Christian Gau. He does.
It's turning into a very interesting race. In fact, there is one Norwegian still to come in, and it's Philip Fjeld Andersen. Should be in quite soon. In fact, there he is. But we'll focus on Fillon Maillet.
No. 5 out of 5 to take the lead.
I thought he would. He hasn't.
Well, that's a shame. That would have been a really, really good start to his season. He won early on last year in Hogfilsen, won the pursuit there, hitting 20 out of 20. He was on good form that weekend. And then, of course, he had a brilliant weekend in Novo Miesto at the back end of the season. I was going to say 5 out of 5, and the lead is his. And the margin is significant. He's right up the near end, so he hasn't got far to go. 26.2 inside the leaders. And suddenly the potential of winning, the pressure of the potential of winning goes on to Tadej Boer's shoulders. 2 more misses from Roman Rees. What a shame after such a good start today. First miss from Christian Gau in the second prone. This looks good and relaxed. It is. Yeah, lovely shoot.
Wonderful. One mistake there. That's a good score today. And I think so far, well, he's an early starter. It will be the best to exit the range.
Yeah. possible PB, Mike. What's his best so far? 8th, I think, in a World Cup.
Yes, I think it is, and 18th last year in this one, but that was early season last year with a perfect shoot.
Yeah, his previous best came in Salt Lake City, of course, where it was a slightly reduced field, to be honest. But he's in a position to challenge that.
Well, the rifle
Lygrid through the 3rd shoot.
Is that rifle made from a piece of pine which had sat for over 40 years in the Matshus, the ski factory, which was going to be used for the sidewalls of skis. He wanted it, he got it, and it seems to be working well.
Solid stuff from Latipov, yeah, that's nice.
It's good. He folds his knuckles over to lock the wooden stock tightly into his grip, and yeah, lovely flow there.
So there could be a lot of changes on the last shoot. At the moment, we have Tavia Burt leading after 3. He's on his penultimate loop at the moment. Johannes Tingesbø has completed his shooting. He should be into the finish very shortly, and he will set the target time for everyone else. But remember, he has missed 2 targets so far today. And then Phil Maillet, who is in such a good position to challenge for a top spot, but he missed one on his last shoot. Currently 39 seconds off the pace of Johannes Tingesbø. Fabian Cloud, solid. Now, Lygrid, 3rd shoot. Yet to miss a target.
First time in, he released the first shot in 14 seconds. 16.9 this time in. Still works perfectly.
Wow. Oh. Yeah, he's going to have a lead of some 28 or even more. 32 seconds for Lygrid. And he can now afford 2 misses on the last shoot. Or certainly one. Certainly one.
Oh, Desio, it was looking comfortable. Thought he might clear them, but he's still absolutely in the race. Should he hit the next 10?
Yeah, he's the only Frenchman in the top 10 at the moment after shoot number 2.
Oh, it happens so quickly, doesn't it? 2 minutes within 8 seconds thrown onto his outcome today, his total time.
Lygrid, Kobayashi of Japan are currently the only 2 who've gone clear after 3 shoots, and no one as yet has cleared all the targets after 4.
Well, Johannes Tinges, he's not the fastest. He looks laboured, doesn't he? A lot of early or late season mileage, kilometres in his legs. Not quite the spark we normally see in his first outings of the season.
No.
But, you know, it's his Olympic season, and they begin on the 3rd of February. Plenty of time to find form.
Felix noch mal eine.
Well, no podium or even a threat of a podium today. Missing 4 shots for Leitner.
Well, here comes Johannes Tingesbø. He's picked the pace up for the last kilometre or so. He's going to take the lead when he comes across the line, but he did start number 2, so you would have expected that. And it's just a question of what his brother does and what Leigrid does when they come in for that last shoot. Down in 9th after the 3rd shoot, Mike. He could certainly finish top 5 with 2 misses, but it does all depend what the rest of the field do when they shoot, going very, very wide on that last turn. Obviously, identified the best snow, the fastest snow down into the finish area, and then he'll break to his left, and then that long run into the finish. Here he goes, he's into the home straight. Johannes Tingesbø, first race of the season. It's unlikely to be a win, but he will take the lead as he comes across the line. 52.32, the target time for the remaining 114 athletes who are still out on the track and who didn't start ahead of him. Christiansen, can he make it 10 out of 10? Mr. Reliable when it comes to shooting. Good relay member.
It's not often you see them taking 12 seconds between shots, but it was worth it. It saved them missing or picking up a 1-minute penalty.
Leigrid's lead pretty substantial, Mike. 32 seconds over Tarjei Bø. Tarjei yet to come in for his final shoot, and he's 1:46 ahead of Johannes Tingesbø. So he's not going to be challenged by the man who pipped him to the World Cup title last year, unless he misses 2 targets on the last shoot.
Unlikely. This was looking so good. It's still looking great for Strolia. Very calm, very good through the rifle.
Fiolmaye skiing exceptionally well today. They'll take encouragement from that.
Yes, this is going to be what, some 20 seconds faster than Johannes Tingesbø's time.
Yeah. He'll take some encouragement out of that. But I think you identified that Johannes Tinges was not skiing on his best form, not quite as light on the feet. No, the fight wasn't really there.
It wasn't, and I think that bodes well for what's to come. He'll find it back.
Looks like we could have another man with 15 out of 15. We do. That's good shooting from Bakken.
Not working out for Andersen in the big field. IBU Cup was easy for him last year, and now he's up into the big division.
So Tarjei Bø, Mike, has a substantial lead over Johannes Tinges of 1:16 out on the tracks. He'll be in for his final shoot fairly shortly, as we see Roman Rees across the line. Started so well after the 2nd shoot. He's still right up there in 2nd place in the rankings. Now Tarjei, it's the end of his chances. Yeah, that's a shame.
That's a real shame. Same shooting as his brother, or same total score as his brother, not the same sequence. That's a real pity.
He's actually skiing faster than his brother, though, Mike, which doesn't happen that often.
It does. 16 seconds faster, yep.
Yeah, 16 seconds at that stage.
And another good result from Christian Gau. That 1 shot missed, and at the moment, 3rd position.
Yeah, that's a great effort. So Leigrid is the next man we need to watch. And he started number 34, exactly 3 minutes after Tarjei Bø. Tarjei Bø has just exited, so it should be about a minute and a half, or slightly less than that, before Leigrid drops down into the stadium for his final shoot and tries to repeat what he did last year, which is clear all 20 targets and win the first race of the season. Benny Dole with 4 misses, 1 on each shoot.
A number of the athletes tripping up, or the edges slipping away. Is it the ice? A lot of good support, brushing the mats clean. Kobanocki, this is, well, 15 out of 15 so far.
Does he believe? This is where you have to block all the thoughts of a 20 out of 20 out of your mind. Just take it second by second.
Fantastic.
19 and 20. That is outstanding. Kobanocki is getting his best ever result at a World Cup. And what a way to start the season. We'll just pick up on his position. He may well go. He does go into the top 3 for now. That is brilliant. He's not going to stay there, but absolutely outstanding. And the only man so far to have cleared all 20. Latypov with a chance of taking the lead. He's got a little ways to go, to be honest, but he's not going to be far outside it. 16 seconds separating the two Bø brothers at the moment. That's good. He's not as quick as either of them, so he really, if he's going to stay ahead of Johannes Tingesbø, I thought he probably needed an extra 5 seconds or so, but we'll see how he hangs on, what he saved for this final lap. But good news for the Russians, and great shooting by Latypov. 19 out of 20, having missed just 1 on his first shoot. Now, moment of truth. What's he made of, Mike? Well, he's shown us many times he's fearless.
Very much so. He's strong. His mindset is incredible. Will he feel any pressure?
That position is rock solid. This is the one. Down it goes. 20 out of 20. We have our race winner, I suspect, with Sturla Holm, Leigrid. Immaculate performances. And it takes a performance like that to beat the Bø brothers. Really fantastic, Mike, to do exactly what he did last year.
It's brilliant. A lot of pressure this time around. No expectations last year. Just his third or his fourth World Cup last year, and then he went on to threaten the whole win, the whole overall season. Yellow bib, nearly got it as well.
Yeah, I'd like a pint of what he's having to help cope with the pressure situations in life. That was immaculate. Really fantastic to see. Never looked like missing, to be honest. Now, is there anyone else who can challenge? Looking, Simon Dessieux has gone into third now after his third shoot, missing just 1. So a chance for the French to get someone on the podium.
And we saw Kretschmar at the end there. So disappointed he was. He let it slip at the very end, missing 2 out of 5 last time in. The race was going so well until that point. Just looking at some of the finish results in terms of shooting, Patrick, Ponsiluoma has missed 8. It's hard to believe. Garanishev's missed 5. Samuelson has missed 6. So clearly a difficult day on the range. Well, that's it now, but that's going to change at the finish. It's Johannes Tingesbø at the moment, with Fio Maye behind, and then Christian Gau still in third place. but a lot of traffic coming towards the line that, or some traffic that will beat those times.
Well, we've not really focused on Mukin, who has gone through. He's come up on my third shoot. Actually, I think there's a mistake in the computer there. Quite how he's managed to get through the fourth shoot, only taking 3 shots, I don't know, but we'll keep an eye on that. The Kazakh has gone up as third. Lygrid, we know, is leading. Tadebo in second. Latyepov has gone through, I think, into third, with Johannes Tingesbo being pushed down to 4 after that fourth shoot.
Well, Mukin had certainly missed 3 coming into the final shoot, so he had already missed 3. So, yeah, something strange going on there to be in third place now. Well, they do lose.
My goodness, what does he do when it's an exciting situation? You know, he's a minute 20 behind Lygrid, so he's got no chance of out-skiing him, and he's just looking. He's 12 seconds ahead of Latyepov after that fourth shoot. So I think he's in a pretty comfortable position, to be honest.
How's this for relaxation? Just he looked above the sights, Christensen, just calming himself down. Probably will take about 30 seconds, nearly 20 seconds to the first shoot, the first shot release. And 4 little breaths there, just short little breaths in between the fourth and the fifth shot. It's paid off. Christensen knows, doesn't have the fastest ski speed, so he now knows that the aim for the podium is the next 5 shots. If he's as composed as that, he should get them. Will the mind get in the way and put some self-pressure on and tense up through the rifle? We'll have to wait and see.
Well, a pretty good day for the Norwegian men, especially after the disappointment of earlier on today, with Tiralekov missing a lot of targets, Roysland failing, Tanrevold failing.
Strodlia only missing 2 targets, or missing 2, and he's 2:31 behind. His ski speed is much improved. That's a great day for Lithuania.
So the lead is about to change. Tadebo was some 17 seconds up on his brother coming out of the range, and he has out-skied his younger brother on this last lap, significantly so, taken 12 seconds out of him on the last 4K. He's in very good shape indeed. That is a fantastic effort, puts him to the top of the table. It won't last long because Lygrid is going to take it away from him, but Norway in a position, a good position, to possibly take 2 of the podium positions. Is Bakken going to join those with the clean sheet? He does. That's a good way to start. Whoa, Lygrid can do it. Bakken can do it. Ski speed isn't as impressive, but Mike, with 20 out of 20, he's in with a shot of making a top 3.
He is. He needs to really increase his pace this final lap of 4 kilometers. So he's got a slight advantage there over Johannes Tingesbo onto the last 4Ks.
Now, Lygrid had a lead of 120 over Tadebo. That's been eaten away, but it doesn't really matter. because he had so much to play with. It's still going to be over a minute. 1:05 exactly. And he's got 1,500 metres or so to go. So Lygrid will take the lead when he crosses, provided he stays on his feet and doesn't hurt himself. Jake Brown for the USA, 19 out of 20. He would have settled for that at breakfast this morning. 18 out of 20. He might even have settled for that. And not 17, no.
Oh, he will be so disappointed with that. To come in having missed one and then to miss the last two. He'll be so disappointed. Incredible how one's body tightens up, and there's a tension. Panic comes from the brain to the trigger finger, and that's exactly what happened to Jake Brown. So Kobanocki, well, the first of the perfect shooters. Lygrid will be next. And back in there will be the one after.
Well, how about that for style? Tsukasa Kobanocki started number 26, so he got a very good start position in group number 1. And his previous best, 28th, so almost certainly going to get a PB today.
Latypov, he's taken the wrong turn, I think, or was that a fall? It's the wrong turn. No, oh, that has cost him dearly.
Well, it certainly has. It certainly has, because he was up in the top 4. Well, that's an elementary mistake. Admittedly, there's no one there telling you which way to go, Mike. And at the end of a race like this, you're on your final tether. But he really should know this course well enough. He's going to be slightly embarrassed by that. But attention will switch to the man who won the individual World Cup last year, winning 2 of the 3 races. He was second in the one that he didn't win. And he's gone and won yet another. So that's 3 out of the last 4 individuals have gone to Sturla Holm Lygrid. He is an absolute superstar. And he came pretty much out of nowhere at the beginning of last season. Spent a lot of time focusing on the way Martin Fourcade dealt with the shooting when he was ill. And that certainly seems to have paid dividends. He's, if anything, he's even better than Martin was in that standing position. A 59-second margin. He's not as quick as the best, but the combination of skiing and shooting, he is streaks ahead of everyone at the moment.
And he's hurting. He had to push it out there. He was in a safe place, but he was just defending should any of the late starters come through by surprise. It's unlikely to happen.
Jesper Nellin was looking good at one stage, but a miss on that final shoot really put him out of contention for a top 5. Goes into 9th. The fans would have enjoyed it if he'd made the top 3 and split up the 3 Norwegians. Lygrid, Tarjei Bø, Johannes Tingesbø, the 1, 2, 3. And Latypov, Mike, ended up 1:36 behind Johannes Tingesbø, having taken a 10-second detour. Oh. And he would have been, and he's only 8 seconds behind him. So there's absolutely no doubt that he would have been on the podium.
100%. In fact, with 400 meters to go, he had nearly 15 seconds lead on Johannes Tingesbø. Only 400 meters to go. Take the wrong turning, and that's now a plus 8 seconds on Johannes.
Well, I tell you what, Simon Dessieux has a chance of making the top 3, despite that miss on the last shoot. Will get his time when he comes out.
I think it's possible. He'll be feeding off the Johannes Tingesbø's time, and I think that could be doable.
9 seconds. 9 seconds on Johannes Tinges off form. I think that's very possible. But he's certainly not going to catch Lygrid, who leads the way.
Yes, after the 4th shoot, we've just missed it. The amount of time that Tarjei Bø took out of his younger brother. I think that, of course, Dessieux will give it a real try.
And we've got Bakken in the mix as well. 2nd place after 4. Reminds me of Ole Einar Bjorndalen after his races.
Yeah,
usually an indication that the lungs aren't in tip-top condition, but hard to believe when we've just seen such a dominant display. As Loganov comes in, 6 minutes added to his name. Would have been impressive if he'd gone clear. Pretty quick time.
Well, Ligrid, just looking at his shooting scores, as Loganov's are not looking so good. We saw him shoot fast and furious, accurate as well for the first 5, but then it just it disappeared. The form left him. But Ligrid has only missed 2 shots from 80 fired in the last 4 20-kilometer races. World Championships, he hit all 20. This race last year, he hit all 20. And again today. Well, a late starter, Brandt. But keeping the spectators happy.
Well, not a bad start from Dale, but he's got a lot of his teammates ahead of him. And those are the men that he'll be measuring himself against today. Norway with Ligrid, Bo, and Bo on the podium. Bakken is on his way. Bakken has yet to go through 19.6, but he must be approaching that point fairly shortly, having started number 44.
I don't think he's going to beat Johannes Tinges Bo. He seems to have faded over this last 4 kilometers. He needed 5, Christensen. He's only got 2. That's a real shame for Christensen. Normally the stand, he's better than that. Christian Gau did well. His brother Scott Gau has gone even better.
Well, it's a good day for Canada. Emma Lunder earlier on today looking very solid. Top 10 finish for her. Scott Gau with 20 out of 20. So we've got Ligrid, who cleared all the targets. Kobanaki we saw clear the target, still lying in 6th place, the Japanese biathlete. That's a brilliant result for him. And Bakken with 20 out of 20 as well. He goes through 19.6, still in 4th position. And the difference between himself and Johannes Tinges Bo, well, he's, by my reckoning, Mike, he is 1 second ahead of Johannes Tinges, going through 19.6.
Yeah, 4 tenths actually, 4 tenths, but it's close.
Well, yeah, Latiapov was some 15 seconds ahead of Johannes Tinges, and he went wrong and missed out on that 3rd spot.
What a race.
Bakken looking tired, looking very tired. This is going to be very close indeed between himself and Johannes Tinges Bo for that 3rd position. Bakken would certainly appreciate a podium more than Johannes, who's had plenty of them. 24th is Bakken's best to date. Is he going into the top 3? Oh, he misses out by a fraction. And I think everyone, probably including Johannes Tinges Bo, wishing that he'd been 1 second quicker.
Well, Johannes, he's surviving by a thread as the names come in and the good shooters come in.
Well, if you thought Norway's success rate was going to drop away, I think we have to think again, Mike. The youngsters like Bakken and Anderson, not quite so much today, but they're showing so much potential.
Have a look at Anderson's ski time. It's only 11.8 seconds slower than Ligrid, so ski speed is all there, and normally the shooting is better than that. Maybe the World Cup pressure.
Now, how is Simon Dessieux getting on? He's gone through 18.8 and hasn't got himself... Well, he should be okay, actually. Just trying to look at his position. He was in 5th after that last shoot. Down on Talia Burt. I think could be looking at a top...
Yes, we're just coming up now to the 18.8, and he's lost some time, actually, to Johannes Tingis.
But he's still 3rd. He is still 3rd. He's 1:13 behind. And when he came out of the stadium, he was 1:29 behind. So he's done well relative to Ligrid on this last loop. The difference between himself and Johannes Tingis Bø was 8 seconds. And it is still bigger than that. So I think he's safe, provided he finds his way into the finish, Mike. I think France are going to have a podium finisher.
Yes, he is safe. He's and it looks clearly safe. Not much in the way of technical difficulties. As you say, as long as his map reading is all right, he'll take that left turn. And will his teammate move over for him, let him past?
Well, I'm not sure that Guiganard isn't providing a wind block for him. Guiganard working really hard. I think they've worked well together over the last kilometre or so, these two. This is where he may go through.
Well, I've seen raised sights. Look at the amount of rise this season. It really does make the rifle unstable if it's canting even a small way. That pivot point makes the fall of the shot go off, but excellent shooting from Elisiev.
Well, the Russians haven't got too much to sing and dance about at the moment, and be interesting to be in the team briefing when it comes to Latipov going the wrong way with 100 meters to go and throwing away what would almost certainly have been a podium position. He may have lost out to Dessieux, who's on his way in.
Yes, I think that's Lachipov's saving grace, isn't it? Now that Dessieux would have deposed him from that podium. So,
yeah,
if there's a positive,
he would have done. But he's lost a lot of positions as a result of that. Instead of being 4th, he's going to end up down in 6th position. But this is a great run from Simon Dessieux, despite that one miss at the end. Yeah, he could have been looking at 2nd place, possibly even 1st. My goodness, it would have been close. Dessieux, though, goes into 3rd, and a great start to his season. 18 hits out of 20. He let one go. Almost looked as though he lost his concentration on that last shoot. But he's had a good ski-in with Antonin Guiganard there, who looks to be in pretty good shape. It'll be interesting to see what he does this season. So Ligrid survives, Mike. Talia Bø 59 seconds behind, having missed 2. So Ligrid actually not skiing as fast as he did this time last year.
Interesting all round, and Talia Bø delighted, missing 2. You wouldn't expect results like this, but generally the shooting has not been good. Difficult conditions. And you know, when you're shooting in darkness, yes, there's plenty wattage of light being man-made, but it's not quite the same. You don't quite get the same view through your sights. So that's a small factor, I think, on why a lot of the shooting has been a little lower standard today.
Norway will be happy. 4 of the top 5 positions going to them. Simon Dessieux, the only man who's been able to break them up, and Christiansen, Mike, he'll be bitterly disappointed. 0-0-0-3. Had he gone clear, then he would have been looking at a podium finish.
That's mentally, that's a horrible situation where you are fighting for 1st position, and he was only 6 seconds off 1st position had those targets gone down, and then you melt down and miss 3. That's quite a tough one to come back from. Biathlon Yes, that's brilliant. We saw his potential, or his racing potential from last year. A lot of good results for the young man.
Lukas Hoffer down in 44th position, Mike, with 3 misses, 6:06, so his skiing speed isn't there. Italy certainly with less to celebrate than the Canadians, who've looked pretty solid today. Scott Gow, very good, was in 3rd position after the 4th shoot. He's dropped down a 9th now, 2:26 behind, but a really good shooting performance by him.
And so that will put the Gow brothers in the top 10. Great day for Canada. Well, it's not over yet. There are still some athletes behind, but for now, there'll be 2 of them when he crosses the line in the top 10. Bow brothers and Gow brothers.
That will be a first. 2 sets of brothers in the top 10.
Certainly will. I think America, the American athletes have had a very good day. Strong performance from Schomer, missing only 2. He's 18th position. And Jake Brown, we saw his last shoot was disappointing, but 19th position.
Well, giving every bit of encouragement. I'm not sure Scott Gow is going to improve too much as we watch Christiansen into the finish, take 3 minutes off that, and you can see that he would have been inside Ligrid's time, and that's the first calculation that he will do. Scott Gow now coming down towards the line. His brother already in the top 10. His brother sitting in 9th. 6th is possible. 5th certainly possible. He should go ahead of Latipov, who made that mistake coming down into the finish area. Johannes Tingesbo on 128. He's going to get ahead of Johannes Tinges. I think it's going to be close, but I think the Canadian is going to do it. And that's the biggest scalp he's ever taken. Absolutely brilliant. 4th place. And so both Gow brothers for now in the top 10. And one of them just a fraction off the podium.
Fantastic day for Canada. Well, he dug deep there to challenge and to beat, move ahead of Johannes Tinges. Strelo, well, I think at the start of the race we thought there was hope and potential from the youngster, and he's provided nicely. He's only had 2 World Cup outings before, Strelo, and a top 15 today will be quite wonderful if he can keep the pace going.
Ja. Levin är 12 då. Det är bra resultat. Annars så har vi Samuelsson 33 och Femling 35 nu då. Pontus 52.
So Anderson's ski time, have a look at that. He's missed 4, and he's 4:03 off his teammate, the lead time from Ligrid. But missing 4, instead of 1st or 2nd place, he's down at 28th position, 3 seconds slower than Ligrid overall on the tracks. Elusive, great shooting. You just see the momentum and the energy has slipped away, and he'll be pushing hard pressed to hold on to a top 30. And that's quite unusual. missing only one target to, well, maybe now not make the top 32, top 33. For now, he's okay in 28th. So really struggling on the tracks, Elisev. And only 1.2 kilometers left of his journey.
Well, I think the Canadians, the big surprise of the day, aren't they, Mike? And I guess Kobanaki of Japan, we can't say enough good things about him. To shoot 20 out of 20 on the first World Cup of the season, that's remarkable.
Yes, that is outstanding, worth a huge mention. And I think he may well stay there. And the best of the Swedes, missing 3, it's Jesper Nellen, 12th position. And then some way back to find the next Swede, Femling, in 36th position. He missed 4. Nashko, that 35th position. Might well stay in the top 40 for World Cup points. Well, Elisev has found something from somewhere, some power, but he's got 5 seconds to play with to remain in front of Anderson. So sometimes overtraining into the season can create this amount of fatigue.
Yeah, traditionally the Russians have a pretty stiff program coming into the first World Cup races.
Trying to get maximum descent power down there, taking it wide to get the best run, the best line down in towards the stadium.
Which month did you find the hardest, Mike? November, pre-World Cup, or December when it all started?
Sometimes absolutely so tired, it was unbelievable. We used to do, what, 20 kilometers in the season. And then the British Championships, which were 10 races. So, yeah, November, you're probably at your freshest, your best.
So there you have it, and change is highly unlikely now. Certainly the top 3 will not be budged. Ligrid, Beau and Dessure take the podium slot. Scott Gow, outstanding for Canada, and backed up by the fact that his brother has finished, or for now is in the top 10. I think he's going to stay there. And then Johannes Tingesbø, last year's champion, back down in 5th position, having missed 2, way off his best ski form. And then Bakken, the youngster in Norway, 20 out of 20 on the range, and he wraps up 6th place to put 4 Norwegians in the top 6. Latipov of Russia down in 7, Fiolmaye 8, and further down, actually, you see Emilien Jacquelin there, down in 32nd position. Didn't go his way. He was skiing exceptionally fast, perhaps pushing the pace a little bit too much coming in. But here's the man who got it right. Ligrid skied okay, nothing spectacular, but he shot brilliantly and fast, never looked like missing a target, and he's done exactly what he did last year. Hit 20 and won the first World Cup of the season. And it's pretty rare, no one's won 2 successive individuals since 2018. Martin Fourcade did it then. He was the master of the 20 when he was in his prime.
Looking at the time there, Strelo, he's not going to affect the Gow brothers. It's quite interesting, the Gow brothers, older Scott Gow, ski time was 0.7 of a second slower than his younger brother. But of course, he shot one target better.
Yeah, each missed target adding 2% to your total time. When you consider that Liger had clocked a 51-minute lap, so just slightly under 2% added. It takes a lot of training to get 2% better in terms of ski speed.
Pardini. 0-0-0-2. It's painful. Christensen, it was 0-0-0-3.
Well, he joins a long list of athletes to make mistakes on the last shoot here, particularly in Oestersund, Mike. I think we've seen it here more than anywhere else.
It's another aspect to this race, Patrick, where we see more often, whatever we call it, a meltdown. We often see in the 20 kilometers many more athletes making big mistakes last time in. The pressure builds, the mind's tired, the body's tired, the fatigue grows even more. And you feel the pressure. You really feel you have to hit these targets, and you change things. The thinking changes, and we've seen that a lot today.
So in terms of nations, Norway starting off where they finished last year. Germany, very, very poor. I think their best is Roman Rees down in 13th position at the moment. And certainly at 2:47 behind, he could be pushed down again.
Yes, the youngster Strelo is actually, I think, going to push him down one more. So this will be the best German result, I think, in 13th position. And Roman Rees will drop down one.
Well, at least they had Denise Herrmann producing a good run earlier on today, finishing on the podium in the women's individual.
Decent skis from the German, but nearly a slight collision there.
Yeah, that was a bad choice of line, wasn't it?
It certainly was.
I think he'd made the assumption that they were both going into the finish.
Best German score to date.
Finishes off well enough, but 5 minutes added, so 10% on his ski time, and he's going to be some way off the mark.
Only his fourth World Cup start, so it's all quite new and scary at this stage of your career.
Yeah, I think Sweden will be disappointed. Samuelsson, Ponsiluoma, way below par, way below what we're expecting. You seem to blame the conditions a little bit, Mike. You don't think it's the crowd factor?
Maybe this new feeling of spectators, it could have played its part. I think the light, great shooting there at the end of the race, but the light combined with first race of the season. So many little factors which have dropped the standards of shooting. Only about 4 athletes have missed one target. And yes, we've got 4 have shot the perfect score. So you normally get up to 10, 15 who missed just one. And then we've got plenty who have missed 2 and 3. Still good shooting on any given day. Over 20 kilometers.
So there you have it. Nothing will change now with most of the top seeds electing to go in Group 1, the rest of them going in Group 2. Lygrid taking what looked like a very comfortable win, but you've got to remember that Tadej Boer missed 2 targets and was still only 59 seconds behind. So Lygrid, Boer, Dessieux, the 3 on the top of the podium. Scott Gow, outstanding, just missing out on a podium slot, but he does finish ahead of Johannes Tingesbø, and then Sivert Guttorm Bakken of Norway, new name in the Norwegian team, really with a 20 out of 20, finishing in 6th place. Latipov, navigational error coming into the finish, certainly costing him 3 places, but I don't think he would have been on the podium if he'd got the line right. He ends up 1:36 behind. Hoffer won't be happy with 53rd.
I don't think he will. I wonder if something happened out there which we didn't see. And what about Campbell Wright from New Zealand? He's only missed 3. He's in the top 50, and still a very, very young athlete. He has raced in cross country as well. His ski speed is good, and well done to him for making the journey and taking part in the World Cups. Hopefully, all of them this season.
Yeah, incidentally, as far as races go, tomorrow, sprint races. Women are first, and they start at 10 o'clock local time. And then the men's race a little later on at 12:45.
Ja, veldig nøyd med dagen og 20 treff og ja, veldig fornøyd med det på kortet i dag.
Alltså du ser så löjligt säker ut, som att du kan inte missa helt enkelt.
Well, Fang Ming Sheng, I watched him at the first Youth Olympic Games, Winter Olympic Games, and he took silver medal there, and he skied so strong, but actually just the visual there of how he skied this last part, strangely, it doesn't seem as good as what I saw in 2012.
Well, what's your feeling for tomorrow, Mike, in the sprint event? I'm not convinced that Lygrid has the ski speed to win a sprint at the moment.
His attacking method on the rifle, he was, 14 seconds and 16 seconds to the first shot release. So he'll maintain that routine again, I think. And you never know with Lygrid. You always think, well, he's not going to make a top 10 tomorrow because he isn't skiing that fast. But remember, last year he kept surprising us. So I would never write him off. I think we can safely say he's going to shoot well. He'll be aiming for another top 3, I reckon, and probably will achieve it. It's got to be the best language to be cheered in.
Well, he's right on the brink of World Cup points. If he can stay in the top 40, he'll get himself a couple, and that's always nice to take something away from your efforts. But look how deep that snow is now. Certainly an advantage to go earlier on. Perhaps he could have chosen a better line round that corner, but it's hard going.
Next Sunday as well. It's remaining in this location. I'm looking forward to the relays. They'll be very close again in the men's field. France and Norway, probably Sweden will get back in the mix, and well, maybe Russia will challenge as well. think as the race progressed, Patrick, I think the wind again, as it was in the women's race earlier, it dropped a little. I think the shooting became slightly easier. Small margins, but I'm not sure about the conditions. You mentioned how soft the track is, broken up. That's probably had, again, a small factor in terms of your speed around the tracks.
Lazuski for Belarus. Just over 2 minutes off the ski pace of Lygrid, who is just over a minute off the ski pace of the best. So 3 minutes or so to make up.
My rough calculation, I haven't seen the stats yet. Jacqueline, certainly one of the fastest, if not the fastest today. And Samuelsson as well. He's up there with some very fast skiing.
Yeah, it might be worth a wager on Samuelsson for the sprint tomorrow. Pre-season nerves, possibly.
Actually, the ski times were this, taking the shooting out of it. On the first lap, Samuelsson, Jacqueline was second. I'll try and get the total time. There it is. Just giving it with the shooting scores. Yes, total ski time. Jacqueline was the fastest in 45 minutes 51. Samuelsson second, and then Cloud third, only 31 seconds behind. Ponsaloma was the fourth fastest, and Desio fifth fastest. Tariabo was only sixth fastest. It was all about the shooting. And Johannes Tinge's track time, 10th fastest to date. Well, that's how to fight. So Vostov really digging deep there, having missed a total of 2. Trying to get himself in the top 15. And that will place him second best Russian today. Latypov in 7th position. It's pretty good going for your first ever World Cup race.
Yeah, good shooting as well. 90% hit rate. If he can keep those sort of figures for the rest of the season, that will serve him well. Yeah, good fighting finish from Zarok Vostov, and respectable time as well. He's taken some big scalps there. Simoneda pushed down into 16. 2:48 behind. Could be someone to watch out for the future. Sklenaric for Slovakia. We're getting towards the end of this one. It's always a bit of a marathon with 116 starters, 20 Ks to cover. And then everything a little bit shorter and sharper as the season goes on. Sprints tomorrow, as I mentioned. And once again, the women going first. They'll switch that round next week.
Good shooting from Raoul Floor. Only missing 1 target. And 54th position.
So the first men's race of the season ends like this. Lygrid, Bo and Dessure take the top 3 spots. Lygrid trying to gain the #1 spot this year, having missed out on the overall World Cup title by just 13 points last season to Johannes Tingesbo. So first blood to Stöderholm. Lygrid getting the win, and that is his 10th World Cup victory on the tour. And all of them have come, well, the first 9 all came last season. So he may be on for another big haul of results. What do we got? 26, 27 races this year. There he is, the champion here in Oestersund. Certainly the Canadians deserve a mention, Mike. 2 in the top 10. I think we have to go back till 2010 before they were making that sort of 2010, 2011 when they were making an impression. Kobayashi of Japan, 9th position, just 2:24 behind, having hit the perfect score. The best of the Swedes, Jesper Nelin. So absolutely nothing for the home nation to shout about after day 1 of the season. Hopefully things will get better as these World Cups go on. And just a reminder, we stay in Oestersund for next week as well. And the athletes on the whole will be glad of not having to travel after the first lot of races. Further down, anyone else? Jake Brown, Mike. The American down in 23rd position, just behind his teammate Paul Schomer.
Yes, that's a good start. 2 athletes top 25 there for the Americans. They've got to feel happy about that. And of course, a lot of Norwegians in that top 17 as well, with Christensen 17th, missing the last 3 shots. Hernig, only 22-year-old, new to World Cup. He's only had 3 outings before at World Cup. Big experience.
Yep, but he can join the party tonight. The Czechs will be celebrating after Davidova notched up a win.
Absolutely.
Well, they may have to put that off till tomorrow night, because Davidova now starts as favourite to win tomorrow, although that will be perhaps a little bit harder. I think it looks as though it's going to be another exciting women's tour. And Eckhoff, Roysland, tipped by many to be the top guns this year. I think they're going to have to fight.
I think so, and maybe advantage Roysland. Again, no pressure. She was disappointed last year, having had a great season before. And she's put a lot of things right during the summer. Yes, certainly it's going to be interesting.
We'll rifle checks for the athletes, and while they're doing that, we should check on the schedule for tomorrow. Once again, women's sprint followed by the men's sprint. Lygrid, today's champion in the men's 20. So I just don't think we're going to get the caption with tomorrow's races, but I hope you can join us for. There's plenty of Nordic action up in Ruka as well, jumping, Nordic combined, and of course the cross country. One more day of action to go there. So here it is. So the women's sprint starting at 10:55 CET, so 9:55 in the UK, and a 12:20 start for the men UK time. The sprint, Johannes Tingesbo will be after revenge. Dylan of Belgium starting 106.
Quite a big Belgium team here with athletes and officials. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 officials, medical team leader, president of the federation. A lot of teams, with it being an Olympic season, nearly a full there. A lot of the staff coming into the first couple of World Cups and just taking an overview of how the teams are performing.
So he's going to be the 114th across the finish line. I don't know if we've got a couple of withdrawals. Have you seen any withdrawals? I think he is the last man out on the tracks. Gets a generous cheer from the fans here. Always nice. 4 misses, 14 minutes behind. Early days in his career. And just needs to sit down and watch a few videos of Lygrid in action. That was impeccable from the winner here today. Sturla Holm Lygrid, his 10th World Cup win. Is he going to go on a winning streak like he did last year? The Burr brothers are going to have to raise their game if they want to dominate for another season. Yeah, good day, as you said, for the North Americans, Mike. Nice to see Canada in the top 10 and the Americans, 2 of them in the top 20. Benedict Dole won't be happy, former sprint world champion, down in 32nd.
Yes,
Benny Vega, 47.
Oh, incredible. And I think another real result that's notable is Strolia from Lithuania. He missed 2 targets and he's 2 minutes 56 behind. The skiing's good and the shooting just dropped away at the end.
Yeah, and what about Loganov missing 6? Ponsaloma missing 8. The local man should not be doing that sort of thing.
If it was a very windy day, you could understand it, but
yeah,
it wasn't that kind of difficulty in terms of keeping the rifle steady. And
yeah, Vindish
how many?
Yeah, 6. And the Italians told me he was in good shape. Well, that just about wraps up the Nordic and the biathlon programs for today. It's been a long haul. Busy day again tomorrow, and then 4 days off. The Track Champions League coming up next on Eurosport. I hope you can stay with us throughout that. Thanks for your company throughout the day. So this all starts at 17:30 today. The Track Champions League should be a good watch. So just a reminder, 9:50 we get underway tomorrow morning UK time with the women's sprint. Hope you can join us for that, and plenty of cross country coming as well.
Sturla, congratulations. What a way to start the year. Form didn't look like the best before, but today was just as good.
Yeah, it's like deja vu, you know. Last season I came out of nowhere and took a win I didn't expect. This season also I didn't have the best shape. I know I can be better in shape, but still I managed to shoot clean and it was enough for a win. So I hope to be copying last season, because last season was very good.
So many people say that starting with an individual is tough because you have so many questions and this is a very mental competition. How did you approach it?
The more mental, the better for me. You know, I enjoy it when it's a tough game and you have to fight. And today I fight for every 20 shot and I managed to get them in and I'm rewarded with a win. So yeah, it's an amazing feeling.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Jeg hørte at jeg tar på den 20 sekunder til sammenligning hver runde. Det har. Ja, de stryker bort alle runden. Ja. 15 bak inn til like. Nesten halvt å kjøre ut. Jeg ble tatt i deg kval etter 2 runder. Nei, jeg klarte ikke å... Jeg slapp han, så jeg gikk mitt eget fra runde 3. Men jeg tror han er stort alle. It's COVID, so we can't fight it.